are now tuned in to my main man Dubs. If you want that garbage, go somewhere else. If you want that music that matters, he came to the right spot.
What up, kid?
Hey Dub, talk to him.
This is not for the weak-hearted. Ever since the beat started, the flow switched up from...
What's up, fight fans? This is Counterpunch with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Viktor Postol, Jose Ramirez. Fight study. Let's talk about it. I just watched the fight, and I have to say it was a tough fight for both fighters. Okay? Viktor Postol with what 3 losses. Came in very cagey, very accurate. He worked the jab. He kept Jose Ramirez where he needed to be. You know, right in his center line, right behind the jab, and he worked the jab all night. Ramirez was struggled to get in there, struggled to do what he's done in other fights, okay? And Postol would not allow Ramirez to do what he needed to do to get his punches off, okay? There was a hook landed here and there for Ramirez, but by the most part, I think the first 1, 2, 3, 4, like the commentation said, that could have been swing rounds. No, those were Viktor Postol rounds to me. Okay, and it was one of those fights I feel that Viktor Postol was the victim of just being too good at this particular time in his career. Okay. When what I mean by that is, you look at a guy, you know, that has a couple losses, and then you have another guy, the promotional company's starring guy, the guy that they're backing with the money, okay, Jose Ramirez. You got Ramirez there, and he's sitting there like the guy that is yet to be beaten. He's the superstar. You know, he's 26-0 with 17 KOs. Well, Viktor Postol, he has a blemished record, okay? He's lost to Josh Taylor. He's lost to Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And he lost again to Jose Ramirez. But the story that I'm trying to get you guys to understand is Viktor Postol was tough enough just to put in front of Ramirez to have that on his resume as a win, okay? Ramirez lost that fight, people. It was either you could have called it a draw without people getting butthurt about it, okay? But when it's a majority decision, that means that it was people that not everyone thought he won. And I think what it is, the downfall to crowdless venues is that the fight itself doesn't have a true voice of the outside politics. That's exactly what it is. Viktor Postol controlled this fight. He was cagey, and he did very, very well. Okay? He did very well. Now, he lost to Josh Taylor. Yes, he lost to Terrence Crawford, but those were decisive wins. Okay? Josh Taylor was unanimous. You know, Terrence Crawford, unanimous. This is a majority. This means that Viktor Postol, if you can't knock him out, right, or you can't stop, which he hasn't been knocked out. You're not going to beat him because he's very technical. Those Eastern European fighters like that, they are very good with the 1-2. He kept it. He put it on Jose Ramirez that kept Jose back round after round. Now, Jose would get in and have points in spots in that fight. But he didn't win that fight, people. Okay? He didn't win the fight. And the 12th round, Postol won that too. And I think, you know, Ramirez is just in a good position right now because he hasn't lost, okay? Because they're trying to get a Josh Taylor fight. They're trying to get him to move up to Terrence Crawford if he gets past Josh Taylor, which I don't think he's ready for because I don't think he deserves to fight Josh Taylor. I think Postol needs a rematch with Josh Taylor, if anything, get him a payday, okay? But that, you know, that has already been sailed. But see, there was nowhere, people, politics-wise, if you know boxing like I do, it's the sport that I love that I hate so much. There was nowhere for Viktor Postol to go. Jose, it is, okay? They're mapping out his career. So while promoters are mapping out his career, they have to make sure it goes a certain way. Okay? If it's not going the way they're swaying it to go, it's not going to work well financially. And they need it to work financially since they're backing this fighter. Because understand, the promoters that's backing the fighters, they are also getting the ching. And I'll be damned, they're not going to let any guy that's better than them get the decision to interrupt them getting that ching. Okay? This is one of those situations. Viktor Postol, he had nowhere to go. He's fought the best in the division. Terrence Crawford, Josh Taylor, now Jose Ramirez, which we found out that he's not there yet. Okay? He's just the front guy. He's the front guy that they're backing, and they're making sure they're going to back him. He's a Mexican. He has a country behind him that they're trying to build that brand, build his name to get those other fights with those other guys. Okay, that's what's happening. Well, for poor old Viktor Postol, he's been there, done that, and he's just good enough to be a good fight for the next guy that they're trying to sway along the way they need it to go financially. That's what's happening in this situation. So if they really backed, still cared for Viktor Postol, it should have been a draw. Okay? But the judges, I think, were in favor to do or to judge a certain way, and they did exactly what they were paid to do. Okay? This was a paid situation. Jose Ramirez was going to win no matter what, unless he gets knocked out. So it's one of those things, man. When I saw it, I had to take time because I was really pissed off when I did hear the decision, but I knew politics-wise, Jose Ramirez, the undefeated fighter, he hasn't been beaten. He has no derrotas, right? None of that. No losses. So it's one of those things where you see where they're taking and guiding this fighter. And when you got a fighter, you need to help that fighter by any means necessary by giving him wins such as this. See Canelo, if you don't believe me. What do you think happened with his fights and a lot of his controversial decisions? This is another example. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Jose Ramirez beating Viktor Postol or defeating Viktor Postol by majority decision. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunched. Peace.